Trying to make it in music while working a low-paying job like a gas station seems nearly impossible. For me, I definitely underestimated how hard it would be to try to make it as an artist, especially starting from the bottom. No connections to people in the industry or a abundance of money. No team, just you and a cat. Meow. She actually helps out a lot. She does a lot of the marketing. For the longest time, I thought music was about the experience of music and the talent. Like, the more talented you were, the further you could go, or the easier it would be to go further. But now I see clearly talent is a much smaller part to the bigger picture. Because now you're not just the artist, you're the manager, the marketer, the content creator, the person who makes sure the cat doesn't rub up against the tripod. Kitty. You're doing everything. And you have to somehow do all of that while protecting the actual art. For me, art is supposed to come from a real place, from the heart, from experience. And the internet kind of pushes away from that, the way that it's been evolving and the culture and everything. It turns people into more algorithms and puts them in boxes and sides. And then on top of all of that, most jobs just pay barely enough to survive, if even that. Like, I currently work at a gas station, and there's nothing wrong with working at a gas station. It just complicates things and makes them harder if you're trying to build a career in music. The energy it takes putting hours in at this job, the money you get back just kind of keeps you barely getting by rather than investing into the music. And of course, you don't have to settle just for a gas station job. There's a lot more to that whole, like, I could get a better job, I could go to some school and certain things, but that's a whole nother video of why I'm not doing that. That's not what I want to do with my life. And so I go to this job, I come home with less energy and time, but I still have to do all the stuff, the thumbnail videos, writing video topics, editing songs, posting and performing and improving vocals and recording songs and doing backflips. Just kidding, no backflips, but all the stuff, lots of stuff. Basically doing like 4 different jobs in one, or 45 different jobs in one. And a lot of the time, one might not see all of that struggle. They just see the final upload. They don't see the shift beforehand. They don't see the exhaustion, the hours put in to the craft. They don't see somebody in moments like sitting in their car trying to figure out if they should use their last $20 for gas to keep playing and not working downtown, or just drive home and buy food with that $20. And to me, it seems like that's why a lot of artists never make it. Not because of talent or because they don't have something meaningful, but because the modern landscape is brutal. There's cats everywhere knocking over tripods for people who try to record videos. That's the worst part about the modern landscape. The heck, kitty? It's oversaturated. Attention spans are fried. It's expensive. Everybody's competing with millions of people at once. And now even AI. And statistically speaking, most successful artists either had connections to the industry or an abundance of money. And I never had either one of those things. Also, I never had talent to begin with. I was very untalented at the start, and I still have a lot of faults. I've come a long way, but the point is, I started without the industry connection or the money or the talent, just heart and grit. And on top of that, I sing about veganism. I perform as a stage persona, a character, ZmanTheVegan, a vegan superhero. So I'm basically in a niche that's in a niche that's in a niche, which further isolates the audience, making it harder to grow this, at least on a short-term base. In the long term, that can grow a fan base that's like more connected to the message, which is powerful and good. But even some vegans look at the character I perform as and think, what is this guy even doing? So I'm really narrowing my audience down, but I can't create any other way. The art has to mean something to me. It has to come from my heart and be genuine. I'm not trying to manufacture a fake image or content just to chase trends and money and attention. But with that being said, I do hold high standards with myself, and it's important to me to constantly improve my vocals, performing, my songwriting. I aim to be at as high of a level in that I can be. But realistically looking at it, I know to reach the professional I don't know, my standard is limitless, but to reach a point where I'm a successful musician and I'm creating content that I think is of the quality of like the top music and stuff out there, I know it's gonna take me at least another 10 or 20 times adjusting this phone. No, Kitty, come on. At least another 10 or 20 years, maybe 30, 40, 50 years until I have a stable music career and I'm actually creating at that level and mixing, mastering, marketing, having a whole team, building that up. Realistically, it'll take me a long time. And the more I think about it, it's not silly to think or unrealistic to think that I may not make it by the time I'm 80. I could be 80 and not have a stable career in music, and have put all these years into working and growing and trying, and still haven't made it. But the thing that hits me the hardest is that now, whenever I think about that, I'm completely fine with that, because it's not about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I learned through the years that, to me, what I value is the journey along the way, the stories, the art I create and perform, and connections I make with people, and the journey itself. What I'm doing is meaningful enough to me. It's coming straight from the heart, and I'm creating. I don't want to say it's like divine, but it feels all warm and fuzzy inside, all right? And so even if I'm 80 years old, 100 years old, I die and I never reach that milestone, that's not even the value of what I'm doing. It's a journey along the way. And that's the real thing. It's not just some magical future where everything becomes perfect. And that's why I reduced my hours at the gas station job, so I could put more hours into this. I'm also door dashing on the side, so I still make enough money and don't make the past mistakes of quitting my job too soon. But I reduced my hours at my gas station job. I'm door dashing a bit, and I'm putting more time into music as a career. And I know the odds are against me. I know it's almost impossible to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. But I also know passion and something you create straight from the heart and you put years and years into over time, that is very powerful. Because every year I improve songwriting, performing, playing guitar, writing, content creation, the message, the storytelling, the branding, everything. And it all links back to the art. And maybe it never becomes massive. Maybe it does. I really don't know. But what I do know is, even if I never become some huge traditional success story, I'd still rather live like this than abandon the thing I feel called to create. Because this feels real and more meaningful to me. And that matters more to me than looking successful on paper. Thanks for watching. For the animals! Woo!